In every era defined by ambition, power, and the quiet machinery of influence, one lesson echoes through boardrooms, back alleys, private dinners, and digital empires. Everything, every asset, every connection, every scrap of information can be monetized. And in the sharp phrasing that captures this truth with brutal honesty, the saying goes, everyone's a whore, grace. Not in the literal sense, but in the unsettling recognition that almost every person, given the right pressure or promise, becomes willing to trade some part of themselves, time, trust, reputation, loyalty, for something they want more. This is not a condemnation. It is a documentary exploration of the world as it really is, not as we wish it was. It is a world in which relationships are currency, information is a commodity more valuable than gold, and the smartest players know how to extract value from both. But beneath this system lies a cost, often invisible at first, that accumulates interest long after the deals are done. If you look closely at modern success stories, entrepreneurs, political operatives, entertainment moguls, social media architects, you notice a common pattern. They all understand that the most powerful leverage does not come from products or talent alone, but from people. People are markets, networks, amplifiers, and gatekeepers. Relationships are the vectors through which empires grow. And so begins the unspoken strategy. Build relationships, nurture connections, appear generous. Then, when the moment is right, convert those relationships into opportunity. Favors become future negotiations. Friendships become collaborations. Trust becomes traction. In isolation, none of this is unethical. In fact, it is the foundation of most human progress. But the line between mutually beneficial exchange and strategic exploitation is razor thin, and in a world obsessed with winning, many quietly step across it. History is filled with examples of individuals who mastered this game with near-clinical precision. They understood that every room is a marketplace disguised as a social setting. Every introduction is a potential asset. Every whisper of insider knowledge can be weaponized or monetized. And every connection, no matter how organic it appears, can be engineered to serve a bigger plan. This worldview doesn't grow out of malice, it grows out of awareness. Once you realize that influence pays better than labor, and access pays better than talent, you begin to see people not just as companions or colleagues, but as doors. Some lead nowhere, others open into mansions of opportunity. The skill lies in knowing which door to knock on, when to knock, and what you're willing to trade for entry. And this is where the lesson becomes uncomfortable. Most people, when faced with a crossroads between idealism and opportunity, choose the practical path, sometimes knowingly, sometimes because the machinery nudges them there. A job promotion may require withholding certain truths. A partnership may demand public loyalty even when privately conflicted. A favor from a powerful figure might come with invisible strings attached. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, a person becomes part of the ecosystem they once judged from a distance. They begin to understand why someone might betray a friend for access, why someone might sell information for security, why someone might stay silent to protect a connection. It becomes clear that in a system built on leverage, morality often bends to fit the shape of ambition. What makes this dynamic even more fascinating and dangerous is that the monetization of relationships is no longer exclusive to elite circles or secret societies of power. In the age of social media, everyone is incentivized to package their identity, their friendships, even their emotions into something saleable. Influencers monetize authenticity. Brands buy relatability. Algorithms reward intimacy. What used to be private, relationships, routines, vulnerabilities, becomes content. And once something becomes content, it becomes currency. The monetization of relationships has gone from calculated strategy to cultural norm, and the world shifts around that reality whether we like it or not. But while this system can elevate those who master it, it always demands payment. The cost is not financial, it is psychological and ethical. The first cost is trust. When people realize you value them not for who they are but for what they can provide, the foundation cracks. Even if your intentions are pure, the suspicion lingers. The second cost is authenticity. When every interaction is filtered through the question, how could this benefit me? You lose the ability to simply exist without agenda. Relationships become transactions, and genuine connection becomes rare enough to feel foreign. The third cost is identity. When a person becomes accustomed to using others as tools, their sense of self blurs into their strategy. They are no longer someone who has relationships, they become someone who harvests them. This is the paradox at the heart of the lesson. Understanding the value of relationships and information is crucial. Ignoring it is naive. The world is built on networks and always has been. But treating every relationship as a revenue stream or every interaction as a negotiation erodes the very thing that makes relationships valuable in the first place. It's like squeezing a fruit until the juice is gone. Profitable in the moment, destructive over time. The smartest individuals know how to walk the tightrope. They recognize the game without becoming consumed by it. They build relationships with sincerity, not strategy, and yet they are aware of the strategic implications. They treat information as powerful, but not as an excuse to manipulate. They understand value, but they understand boundaries too. Ultimately, everyone's a whore. Grace is not an accusation, it's a mirror. It reflects the transactional undercurrent present in every society, from ancient marketplaces to modern digital platforms. It reminds us that the world rewards those who understand the economics of relationships, but it warns us of what happens when we become too comfortable selling pieces of ourselves. The documentary lesson here is not to reject the system, nor to fully embrace it, but to navigate it with awareness. Know the value of what you hold. Know the cost of what you trade. And above all, know that there are some things worth keeping unpriced, untraded, and untouched by the invisible hand of ambition. In a world where everything can be monetized, the rarest currency is integrity.